Okay,
Yeah.
so have you ever had like that feeling, where you just want to just ditch everything and chase that big dream?
Oh, yeah.
That like passion project?
Yeah, totally.
That thing you've always wanted to do?
Uh,
Like turn your passion into your career.
like 100%.
We're going to take a deep dive today
Yeah.
into what that actually looks like in reality.
Okay,
So we're looking at this excerpt,
right.
The True Cost of Doing What You Love.
Interesting title.
Yeah. And it's just not to like discourage anybody,
Right.
but to give you a clear perspective of what that actually means.
Sure.
It's kind of like when I decided to renovate my bathroom.
Uh-oh.
Let's just say sometimes those DIY dreams
Yeah.
turn into expensive lessons
Yeah.
in knowing your limits.
Right. And I think that's what's so fascinating about this whole topic is,
Yeah.
we're always sold this vision of like, follow your bliss and the money will come.
Right.
But this excerpt is really digging into how that's not always the case, especially when you think about creative fields or like starting your own business.
Oh, totally.
Passion doesn't magically just translate to a steady paycheck.
It really doesn't. And the excerpt even points out that like side hustles
Oh, yeah.
can become a way of life.
Absolutely.
You're out there living the dream, but
Right,
you're also juggling like 3 different gigs to make ends meet.
For sure.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what are those financial trade-offs
Yeah.
that most of us are just not prepared for?
That's a huge question. And then even beyond just like the money part of it, there's
Right.
the emotional and mental side of things.
Absolutely.
And imagine, pouring your heart and soul into this work. It's not just a job anymore.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that can lead to this constant pressure
Right.
to perform,
Mm-hmm.
to like keep innovating, to always be on.
Yeah.
It's no surprise that burnout is a real risk in these fields.
Well, I've been there. I once started this photography business on the side,
Oh, cool.
and I was so passionate about it.
Yeah.
But the pressure to get clients,
Right.
to market myself,
Yeah.
to be creative, like on demand,
On demand. Yeah.
it really started to wear me down. Eventually, I had to kind of step back
Sure.
and reassess
Yeah.
how to balance that passion
Right.
with my well-being.
Of course.
And it's like this excerpt says, the excitement can quickly turn into stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What have you found helps people kind of navigate that tricky transition, like from passion to
Yeah.
work?
I think one of the biggest things is setting those boundaries.
Yes.
Being realistic about what you can actually handle.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get swept up in that excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But protecting your time,
Yes.
protecting your energy
Totally.
is crucial.
Yeah. For example, like if you're a freelancer,
Yeah.
setting clear work hours,
Mm-hmm.
sticking to them,
Yeah.
even if that means like turning down some projects, that's a hard skill to learn.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so essential
Absolutely.
for preventing burnout.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I think that ties into what the source was saying about
Right.
work-life balance or the lack thereof.
Right.
When your passion becomes your work, those lines can get so blurry.
Oh, for sure.
You're always thinking about it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's that myth of like never working a day in your life if you love what you do.
Right.
It sounds great in theory,
It does.
but in reality,
Yeah.
it can be all-consuming.
Absolutely.
Like you might love to bake, right?
Yeah.
But imagine turning that into a bakery business.
Oh, my God.
Suddenly, you're not just baking for fun.
Totally.
You're managing inventory,
Right.
dealing with customers,
Yeah.
worrying about overhead costs.
Yeah.
It's a different beast.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that can lead to isolation, too.
Oh, yeah.
The source talks about the sacrifices
Right.
that sometimes have to be made. Maybe you have to move for a specific opportunity,
Yeah.
or you have to like miss out on family events
Oh, totally.
because of your work schedule.
For sure.
It just made me think about how pursuing a passion
Yeah.
can impact your sense of belonging.
Absolutely. It can be a really lonely path,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You might be working long hours, feeling uncertain about the future,
Right.
wondering if you even made the right choice.
Totally.
And I think building a support network is so important.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's with like other people in your field or like understanding friends and family,
Yeah,
that can make a huge difference
absolutely.
in navigating all of those challenges.
Speaking of challenges,
Okay.
let's talk about fear of failure.
Yeah.
I think that's something that like anyone who has ever pursued a dream
Mm-hmm.
knows all too well.
100%.
Putting yourself out there.
Right.
Especially when it's something you're so passionate about.
Yeah.
It takes guts.
It really does. And this excerpt was pointing out how imposter syndrome is
Yeah.
rampant, even amongst incredibly successful people.
Right.
It's that feeling of not being good enough,
Mhm.
of being a fraud,
Yeah.
even when you are achieving great things.
Totally.
Remembering that everyone feels that way sometimes can be oddly comforting.
It's like running a marathon.
Okay.
You're going to hit those walls.
Yeah.
You're going to want to quit.
Right.
But it's the mental fortitude
Yeah.
that gets you through.
Absolutely.
And I think pursuing your passion can be a lot like that.
I agree.
You have to be prepared for those setbacks and know that you have the resilience to
Yeah.
push through them.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And finally, let's touch on the impact of all of this on our identities.
All right.
So much of who we are can become tied to what we do,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's something that we're passionate about.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
If your passion evolves
Uh-huh.
or like things just don't go as planned,
Right.
how do you navigate that
Yeah.
without feeling lost?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of us grapple with.
It's definitely a complex issue.
Yeah.
But I think the key takeaway here is that awareness is everything.
Okay.
You know, understanding the potential cost of pursuing your passion
Right.
doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it allows you to go in with your eyes wide open.
Right.
You can set realistic expectations,
Yeah.
build that support system,
Mhm.
and develop coping mechanisms for all those challenges
Yeah.
that will inevitably arise.
That's such a great way to put it.
Thanks.
This wasn't about saying don't follow your dreams.
Right.
It's about equipping you
Yeah,
with the knowledge to
Yeah.
make informed decisions.
I agree.
But here's something to kind of chew on.
All right.
What happens if your passion changes
Oh.
over time?
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate that shift
Yeah,
while still honoring everything that we've talked about today?
that's a good question.
That's something I think we all need to ponder.
Totally food for thought.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time
That's good.
on The Deep Dive.
Awesome.
Bye.
See ya.